almost forgot, yeah.
That is the best news we could have ever gotten.
Oh, and I don't know if Alan's told you this, but we're keeping it quiet. He's recently recalled Crenshaw, and he'll be returning with 900 men.
I'm sorry, what?
Obviously keep that to yourself, but he's been busy. And 900 good, loyal, vetted men. Not scum off the streets or mercenaries. They've been vetted to uphold our ideals. That one night, that one conversation, when you spend so long swimming against the current and almost drowning the entire time for years and years, and then finally something breaks, and it was euphoric, Tibbs. I wish you could have been there.
I probably wouldn't have been welcome in the presence of the hiking emissary, but I really wish I was.
You're in the presence of a Vern Folder emissary right now. And a long beard, apparently.
By the gods.
We actually, genuinely, have a real chance at this, Tibbs.
I don't have the words.
Yeah. I nearly fainted. I'm so short of breath.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. I still don't understand all the finer details of it, but that's the overall thing. Yeah, we are recognized as Dawe.
So what's the plan now? This changes everything.
From what I understand after my talks with Arn, we're consolidating. We're going to build up the outside of the town, get our keep built, and then go from there, consolidate. We have war plans. Obviously, you won't be spreading this to anyone, but there are islands off the southern coast of Astagon. The idea would be to push there, send sappers and builders, and set up some fortresses that we can use as staging points to invade.
That could be possible. I know of a few islands that could go unnoticed. This is actually possible.
Yeah. After years. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I've been so busy with everything else, I forgot, yeah. Clan Erhard. We'll never die. The griffin, the house will be written in the halls centuries of times.
Congratulations, Kyle.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
It's hard to wrap my head around, but we have a legacy, you know?
I'm honestly, truly proud of you, Kayla, and what you and your father have done. And it's such a privilege to be sitting here, to be part of this history.
We can get them all back. Gewin, Leodor, and Astagon. Populace be damned.
There's actually a light at the end of this tunnel.
Right?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. The
I'm not
doorway.
crying, I swear.
It's okay. I bawled my eyes out. I was gross. The doorway that made this possible, the one that perished, made what the Imperials did to the Eastern Dwarf Kingdoms into a grudge. And it is in their grudge book now, and as you know, with dwarves, they will put all strength and power into settling those grudges, which means we are going to have
Absolutely.
the weight of Vernforder behind us as well.
That's truly amazing.
And Arrowland.
That is the entire dwarven people at our backs as well.
I know before we make a move on Astagon, we have to help clear up the Dowey. They are in a war with the Grey Orcs, from my understanding. So we'd have to lend a hand,
Well, that's of course.
finish that up, and then they'll be able to put the full weight.
Won't be easy though. The orcs have all, we've seen just a small part of what they've been able to do.
Yeah, but we're versed in fighting them now.
Can you talk to him?
Yes.
Make him leave you alone if you want.
This actually could be possible.
I'll talk to him tomorrow. I'll make sure he gets the point. You're
I'll
okay,
try looking into a few things. Oh,
I get
what
it.
is that? Oh,
Hello, boys.
Hey, Sarah.
Not interrupting, am I?
No, I was just, you know, with everything going on, have you got to tell Tibbs about the whole Dwarven Emissary thing?
Ah, it's the only good news we've had in weeks, yes.
And he was cutting up onions earlier, which is why his eyes are welling up.
Right. No, no, not at all. They're naturally
Speaking
red
of
like
your
those.
eyes.
Well, first it's
Was
good
I
to see
imagining
you.
things you as well when your eyes aren't bleeding?
Oh,
What is...
well,
Did you get hit by something? Some type of...
it's just.
Are you okay, is what I'm asking.
I'm fine, as you can clearly see me sitting here. I just
Well.
needed a few days rest. I was tired.
If that ever changes and you need my help, I am here. I'm back.
Well, it's
So-
good to see you back in one piece. I'm surprised. I hadn't seen
For the
you in
most
so
part,
much
yes.
time. I had
Yeah.
feared the worst.
Kyla,
Mm.
that missive for the cipher,
Mm.
I wrote it up.
Okay.
Right here.
Yeah, I haven't told Arn yet.
You don't have to, I can. It's my information to tell. I don't want his ire directed at you.
You don't want me there to help disperse things?
You can be there, but
I'm going to try.
I think it needs to come from me. I'm the one who did it.
Heavily regret this.
Tibbs, do you
I have to
mind
explain to him exactly what happened.
going and checking if he's in his office? He told me to get him
Apparently
if this...
he's gathering us for something. Myself, Markle, and Shane.
Apologies
Okay.
to interrupt. The Lord has requested Miss Saravith to head outside towards the back.
There it is.
I'll come through and
I'll be
see
back
you
in.
off.
Okay.
I won't tell him until you're ready to.
Was it you that requested us? Because when they say the Lord or Hurt, I don't know, never know which one.
The big one
No,
There's
back
so many
this way,
people
come
just
on.
bursting into the door.
Yes.
out the back.
I really like this chair.
It's tough to sit on. It's only a bit of leather over some stone. Oh, there's not even any leather on that one. Come on.
Now
there's
there's
no
it's
leather.
pure
Uh,
stone.
Apparently he's meeting you guys outside that back, from my understanding.
Alright.
Oh my god.
Alright, this meeting up back then. Fucking.
Do you get taller, Sigvara? Or did I get shorter?
Yes.
I think you're just short.
Wow.
I
These
think
don't
you
have-
did get a little shorter.
These don't have as much heels
You
on
might
them.
You know
be
what?
getting
I feel,
It's because I'm big
I honestly
dwarf
think you are a little
now.
part dwarf, that'll do it. Yep, you got.
The rest are inside your home. Should I get?
No, we're talking on a completely separate matter here.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to introduce you to the matter, and I'm going to hand things over to Balak.
Oh, you stole that.
Balak.
To make things very short, Balak is going to be who I install as Castellan.
Oh.
I trust in his judgment. He
Congratulations.
is a lawful individual, and I like to think that as a non-human, he will help bridge the gap that we've been having trouble with here in Nautis.
I'm just gonna pull her off over here.
Make your way inside, Faye.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to handle some business. Fill me in later.
Sure.
Balak, start us off.
Yes, well, since I've come to Nautis, I have always kept a few contacts within Ishmathalos. Correspondents. They're mostly casual, but recently, within the past year or so, things have started ramping up that have been concerning. And it's only gotten worse. At first, it was just more upgraded security, even among towns in Eshma, but even people looking to our own from the larger houses, things that, by all accounts, shouldn't be done for those loyal to the crown. And it wasn't until I went back into Eshma a little over a month ago that I saw how bad it was getting. For the Elven side, the divide between the upper and lower houses has gone out of control. They've been suppressed, and a lot of younger elves are starting to feel trapped in their own homeland. And not only the elves, but the drow. I've also noticed a lot more of influx. Well, there have been an influx in the name of reintegration. The treatment is still partly barbaric, if I'd have to say so.
There's no reintegration.
What Balak's trying to say, without the build-up, is that those wishing to flee Ishmathalos have nowhere to go. Ireland, half of it is a wasteland, the other half its borders are closed, and the other half is Astagon, Imperial-held cities. This is the only direction that those wishing to flee Ishmathalos can go. Let's face it, most elves and drow will not survive trying to go over the Vernfolder Mountains. Their best bet is to try and circumvent the border.
I'm going to be the Gradia.
We have our border, specifically. We have every interest in assisting these people. We're getting them through the province and deeper into Gradia. The reason for this is, number one, some of these people may be nobles, trying to raise those for their cause. Some of these people may be exiles that may find cause or their voice somewhere else. The point is, every single refugee fleeing Ishmathalos may find a purpose somewhere in Gradia that may later help with any sort of conflict or reformation that takes place within the nation. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
We suspect, from what Balak has told me and what he's seen, as he has come and gone from the border a few times, is that there are a number of anywhere from lower caste to noble, young noble elves looking to flee the nation, to that of drow, either born on the surface or those in the lower caste of Eshma looking to flee deeper into Gradia, and even a smattering, very few wood elves used either as servants or personal guards that have been seen or caught trying to flee across the border. I want to aid these elves and drow and wood elves because, again, not only does it assist us in the long run, but we don't know what sort of information we can gather, boons we can gather, assistance we can get by helping save their lives. If Balak is to be believed, things have gotten almost militarily difficult when it comes to the lower case trying to survive in Eshma.
I have some information for you, Balak. It might aid you.
I will leave you to discuss this with Balak shortly. I will finish my piece. The two of you are the people that I'm going to for this. Two reasons. One, you're in exile. No one has any reason to watch you or follow your movements or would suspect a single thing from you. There's no reason for it.
And they can't track me through the forest unless it's Fae.
You also have no connections to any faction, so it'll be hard to figure out who and why.
She's not a citizen.
No, she is not. You, I've picked for obvious reasons. You're a drow. And night operations will not only be helpful, but as good-willing as Kaz is, I am sure there'll be a number of drow that may not trust you off the bat, trying to help
Wouldn't
them.
your son be a better fit for this, or Tiberius?
I'm aligned to a faction.
I need them... Again, ties to a faction. Now, when I say that, I don't mean in the eventuality of being captured. I don't suspect that's a problem. What I do suspect is them breaking the law and sending elven manhunters or detachments over the border to try and interfere, in which case you will be supported to deal with them in any clandestine means possible. Whatever equipment or people you need, when that need arises, you will be given, but it has to be dealt with. You understand?
Are there any
I do.
rules to this? Are we not to be discovered?
Don't be caught. Don't let your name
don't.
get out. And if they send a detachment over the border, what they have done is illegal and dangerous. And they either must be arrested or killed. Because if they get away and they know who you are, it could become an issue and I won't be able to fully protect you.
I can't promise that I can remain hidden. You know what happens. There's going to be combat.
Well, it's our job
Will you
to
allow
avoid
my
that as
family
much as
to help me?
possible.
We support as best we can one another.
When I say you have the support you need, if it comes to us having to clash with local security forces with an unknown force that cannot identify itself, we are legally in the right. Doesn't matter who sent them.
Even if they're unmarked elves.
Especially if
Special.
they're unmarked elves.
So that means the only way that they would be able to... Well, there is no way. I see what
The
you're
only
doing.
way we'd be in
Would
trouble
be-
is if we attacked a elvish patrol that
Indeed.
wasn't actually hunting us.
It'll be very clear, I'm sure, who is and who isn't hunting anyone. Neither of you are fools.
I trust you.
They want to be underhunted, we will be underhanded. Get what I'm saying? And who knows? Maybe in the smattering of people that get rescued, we might find someone who might be a boon to us all. Or some of us. Balak, I will leave this in your hands. Remember, we need to find a place that can serve as a hidden camp or outpost where we can keep these people for a few days until we wagon or ship them out of the province.
I might already have one.
And work
Perfect.
closely with Balak and
Yep.
Serveth. I have to see to this meeting with the Lord High Emissary. Good luck to you both.
Thank you, Lord Edhart.
Of course.
We should find somewhere private.
Had another meeting before this.
You're a busy man.
Unfortunately, that is correct. We're going to have very important company in a moment. We have very pointed questions to ask you all. It is the Lord High Emissary from Vernfolder, the mouthpiece of the King of Vernfolder himself. He wishes to know about Nith Mandalorian, what happened within it, what was recovered. I have told him most of what I know for a reason. With the death of Morden Stonehammer, our explanations is the only reason why they aren't going to arms. I have told him it is a rogue house that we believe acted in Alarmin or Xylira, because that is the information I have. Whatever you know, I beseech you to tell him, as it will only better our situation. They want to work with us. Are there any questions before he's summoned?
No.
All right.
How open should we be?
Completely open and honest.
So, do you mean to say that the one thing that I basically have only told Tang about, I should tell you all about then? Before he
Which
shows
aspect?
up? I have a device from there that allows me to, basically...
Does anyone else know that you have this? All right.
That's
Me and the professor
Yeah.
from
Yeah, from the Institute.
Mm.
Do you think that this item could assist in a war against the Grey Orcs?
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
Then no.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Do me a favor. Bring in the Lord High Emissary. He should be somewhere
Aye, sir.
outside. Thank you.
Go check his quarters.
It's a good thing you didn't sit in that chair.
Yeah, you're right. I would have kept it warm for him.
Remember to show him respect.
High Lord. High Lord.
Is he one of those dwarves?
Being what?
I know a lot
Say
of
again?
dwarves that are pretty racist against elves.
They didn't seem to care about my son. And stuff
Alright.
like that.
At the head of it, if you would, High Emissary.
Thank you.
Yes, Master.
Please all be seated. Greetings, High Lord Emissary.
Of course. I suppose this is the group then.
Yes, that will be coming and sitting at the table very shortly. They were just going through their equipment. The individuals here are the ones that I spoke about, minus one who will be joining us late, that ventured into Nithman Malorian.
Very well.
They were the last ones to be with Morden Stonehammer before he was felled.
I see. Well, I will not mince words. I am here because of a number of things, but I'm speaking with you all because we need to find out the circumstances behind the late Morden Stonehammer's death. Because, depending on specifically who was involved in arranging for this attack, could influence wars between nations. It is imperative that we determine, especially above all else, if the Elven King was responsible for this incursion. The current understanding is that the Longbeard believes that they were acting independently. I'm inclined to believe them, but I need to be certain first. Because I cannot make a report like this based off of individual judgments alone. You were all present.
These are the beliefs, as the High Lord has said, that I have of myself, but if my information's incorrect, please do not hesitate to tell the High Lord.
As I understand, the Longbeard was not present with you when you had ventured down. Perhaps you have seen things that they have not. I understand that if there is information that would implicate the Elven King, it would complicate things, but the most important thing is that we know the truth, because only then can we enact proper justice for our fallen kin, who I know has looked out for many of you in the past. I hope that you will honor his memory and tell the full truth to the greatest extent that you can remember. Very well. Who would like to explain the scene when the battle began, specifically, to make sure that we have the event itself proper?
I was separated from everybody during the entire thing. Like, I fell down, and so I couldn't really help you with that.
If need be, I remember when we encountered those who killed Morden.
That would be good. We will start there.
After venturing into the deepest parts of the city of Nithmemalorian, and retrieving what was necessary to repair both myself and stop whatever was going on down there, at least initially. When attempting to leave, we were intercepted by the group that the Longbeard had pointed out. They had made a stern request, which was not one, if you understand my meaning there, that we turn over the artifact that was retrieved and let them be on their way. We did not allow that to happen, and were then pursued throughout the entirety of the city.
You remember
When
the one
we
that
had-
was leading the group? There was one specific that was leading the group.
There was one elf that was leading the group. Like it was said, they were unmarked, but this one in particular was very distinct. And they have had repeated visits to this particular province as an emissary.
Yes, Now, Lord Inalaman.
I'm my lord.
After... Sorry,
please.
Continue.
No, continue.
After moving our way through the city from various obstacles, those being the monsters that dwell within the walls, we were able to make our way to the outside of what we believe to be the Eshmathalas border, somewhere along an embankment cave or some kind of entrance nearby one. When we had reached that point, there was a secondary group of unmarked elves who stopped our fleet, or our retreat from the city. It was at this point where the Stonehammer's wounds had coalesced, and they perished under the light of the sun.
Were these elves also unmarked?
I did not see any distinguishing house symbols or colors in which they wore.
Aye, my lord does the same with me. I didn't see any special markings to them.
Well, I understand that the Lord Inalaman still lives. I don't believe that them and their entourage would be very easy to evade. How was it that you were able to make it past them in the first place?
One of our group had... I cannot exactly explain it in due detail. I only understand the result of what happened. They had rushed forward, and a burst of some kind of force or energy enveloped the both of them, collapsing the chamber in which they encountered us. Whether this was from the emissary themselves or something that we had brought in, I am unsure. But that was enough to give us pause to be able to escape the city.
In this person's name, are they here?
Not within this room.
No, sir, not within the room.
Are they the party that will be joining later?
I should be Serapis.
Pretty well.
Serapis, let me poke my head out and see if she's done. I'll be right back, High Lord.
Of course.
And
Apologies.
You are
My
alright?
memory works best off of prompts.
Very well. There is no issue.
And to give you even more context, High Lord, I believe the artifact that they were still chasing, they still, even after the fact, long gone after the Stonehammer had failed, they still made attempts into the forest to retrieve this item, and even those elves, when I got a good look at them, were all unmarked. They didn't have any special marking or sigils on them. So I'm even myself have been trying to investigate to find out who these elves were, because they had to have been the same ones that encountered us in the caves.
You must be the Fae Vafera. And
My
I take
lord.
it then this is the artifact recovered.
It was the one that was in the chamber.
May I?
I would not recommend it, High Lord.
Would it be unsafe?
From Professor Lockwood from the Institute, he told me it emits a high level of wild magic. That oversaturating yourself with, I don't know what it would do with a Dowie per se. I don't know.
Is there a reason that you are not affected?
It's affect me somewhat, yes.
And yet you carry it. A conversation for later. You were saying?
I was merely urging against caution of interacting with the artifact. It is highly powerful and, from what I understand, a catalyst.
Well, I'm sure we will be able to discuss it later. Very well. Were there any hints, explanations that might have been given by the Lord previous emissary when they were there? Any kind of gloating that might have provided hints, motives, etc.? I realize this was some time ago, but if anything is recalled, it would be greatly appreciated.
When we had encountered them, they had, in your own words, boasted the fact that this entire city was something that they would just be reclaiming for themselves. This is theirs. That is something that belongs to them. And we were trespassing and stealing.
And I can tell you for a fact, my High Lord, that does not belong to them.
No. Well.
The mercenary Serapis, Puzzle.
Good. Have a seat, Serapis.
I need a wisdom roll real quick about how Sire Lyra, would she think they were involved at all in this situation?
With a 19 plus 2, you're almost certain they are.
Should I guess I'm going.
Apologies, sir.
Please, be seated.
High Lord Emissary, this is Serapis Dalmas. Serapis, this is the High Lord Emissary, the mouthpiece of the King of Vernfolder himself.
Pleasure.
Can I give a roll? Will that be a good information to give? Sorry.
Very likely.
Okay.
Helps them narrow it down.
One thing I can add to it, though, during my investigation so far, the one name that's come up a couple of times is House Xylyra. they might be the ones that are unmarked. I'm not for sure, but their names have come up a lot in conversations of people that have had investigating these unmarked elves.
I see. This will help. We will have to look into possible connections between these two houses. This could lead us somewhere.
A couple of questions of my own, if that's all right.
Of course, Longbeard.
Mr. Morgul, there was a time, correct me if I'm wrong, and Mirandel Thessalor was still here, that the elf known as Lord Inalaman had sent soldiers to your store in an attempt to on either your life or his. Is this correct?
Yes.
We remember at the time that's the explanation he gave was that this was, correct me if I'm wrong, Kovaz's doing, but we found out later Inalaman was aware.
Yeah. Well, Kovaz was very influenced by Inalaman.
Absolutely.
And in all honesty, I'm pretty sure he was there for me.
With the way that he acted and he behaved.
Apologies.
Thank you, my lord. The way he acted and behaved, did it seem like he was operating in an official capacity? We're aware that a nobleman can use underhanded tactics, obviously, to get what he wants, but does it seem like this was being done for the crown or for himself?
I'm actually not sure. I wouldn't think he'd be doing it for the crown. I feel like there would be more force in what he was doing. He wouldn't be so clandestine.
Also, my lord, out of character, Mirandel did give me all his notes. Did he get any scraps of notes off those elves during his battles or anything that would have been in that lot?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
But without a doubt, there is a paper trail, High Lord, of underhanded tactics being used by a man who was supposed to fulfill the position of a dignitary. It's suspicious, to say the least.
I don't doubt that. I do have questions about this. Do you know why they were looking to arrest or harm you?
I tried to kill him.
I will come back to that. I was speaking specifically.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were looking at me.
No,
it's all right. No.
Well, how
All would be out on the table either way.
One at a time, please.
I can add to that.
A long time ago, I was part of a group that, well, is not really liked by most elves in Eshmith-Loss.
Is this something that you would be willing to discuss more after everyone else has left? You seem hesitant.
Yes.
Very well.
We
will
High
move
Lord,
on.
I can add to what he's saying because Ilaman, he approached me in my apothecary and tried to get me to turn against him, to turn him in to Ilaman.
You told me that?
No, he did, and I turned it down. He said, I will save you from people hunting you down, the Inquisition, if you turn you in to him, and I turned it down. That's how underhanded he is.
Yes, we will speak after this. To you, Miss Serevith, I heard that apparently down in Nithma Malorian, you rushed at the then emissary in the Lamin in something happened that allowed the others to escape. Could you elaborate?
He was using his magic to hurt my friends. For you to understand this, you must know something about me. I am a birthright magic user. Unfortunately, something happened to me in my past that has removed my ability to harness this power properly. So when it comes into contact with magic, it can react in my favor or not. So I just kept hitting him until something happened. And we both exploded.
Okay.
That's all I remember.
She hoped that she allowed us to escape. It brought everything down on them. There's no way we could go back in.
Suppose a miracle you are both alive. Well, for
Not
him,
a miracle. Him,
for you,
yes.
perhaps.
I was saved by people who cared about me. They retrieved my body, and they put it back together.
Impressive considering the circumstances, but...
My biggest question I want to ask before I forget is, towards the end, I understand that at that point in time, Serveth was not present because of the conflict within Alaman. At the very end, those of you who were present, the elves that ambushed you, were they wearing any sigils, or did you recover any symbology?
Everybody pushed me out to flee, while everybody else was attacking. I know Mirandale got close to a lot of them, was doing something strange. And my grandfather was in the thick of it.
I believe, after the conflict had subsided and the ambush was taken care of, that someone had begun to search the bodies of the group. I cannot remember exactly who it was, but I believe that they might have found something, be it a missive or orders, perhaps some kind of a symbol. I do not remember exactly. I think something was found, but it could just be me thinking back on wrong information.
If this is true and could be produced...
The cloak of one of them.
You have the cloak of one.
Part of it.
Please.
Okay, slide that over.
What? Tell me what he's looking at.
Plain old elven piece of white cloak. Nothing really on it, but the make of it is very elven.
It's not a lot to go off of, but it is a lot better than where we were. Thank you. I will look into this. Was any missive or notes recovered? Is what Tang says accurate to any of your knowledge?
I was first in the sand at that point.
I'd like to ask a few inferencing questions just so we can figure out what the plan to go further, High Lord.
Very well.
Does it feel like that there's still a lot of unexplored areas that we could perhaps try and find some sort of proof or evidence inside of Nithma Malorian?
Oh, absolutely.
You believe so?
There were many places we didn't even get to. It's a large expanse of ruins.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of buildings we didn't even get to go in.
But it is a risk. We all nearly died. Not even just to the elves. The monsters down there.
And the Institute has been down there for about a month now, picking it apart as well.
I can handle the Institute. If this is something that is necessary, I can make arrangements.
You're not thinking of going back down there?
I think that we might have to. Whether or not it is you or someone else is not my business.
I do have a map I drew of the areas we went in, so
That
we
would
need
be
to
very
retrace our
helpful.
steps.
I wouldn't be opposed, but maybe not so large of a group. It was
If a
very
smaller
difficult
group-
to maneuver.
If a smaller group is necessary, that can be fine. The most important thing is that we are able to recover any kind of evidence. Especially
Well-
if the bodies have not been removed.
After the
There's al-
blast, I don't. Maybe in another part, but not in that chamber. There's nothing left.
Yeah,
Not in the
keep
chamber,
on now.
but apparently the actual attack that resulted in the late Longbeard's death was not in the
Caves.
chamber, but the caves just on the border.
You said there were caves. The bodies
I-
might still be there.
Because at the entrance of the cave, there's these giant pillars, like it used to be something, but now it just a lot of the stone had weathered away.
It is in a cove in Eshmathalas.
Aye.
Well,
Would it not be
we-
easier to take a boat down the coast?
I
instead of
do
going
not
through the
believe it would
ruins?
be wise of us to enter Eshmathalas territory through their borders. We would have to go the long way around.
No.
If it is the bodies that you are looking for, the immediate chamber outside, we did have a skirmish. There would be bodies of whoever the group was still remaining in that location.
Yes.
Before the cells.
Also, in a deeper area before the cells.
Aye, true. If all that collapsed, you might find some bodies left down there, yes.
Were there any bodies that were found that might have been caused by the group?
Yes, I was just thinking about that. Right before their final encounter, there was a large group of drow that were there.
Yeah, a group of drow and high elves that looked like they had a clash. I
Yeah,
remember
they
that. Good
fought.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of drow
All I
in one
remember
area.
are bones.
Lacking any other sort of evidence, unless anyone has something I have not gotten.
Something is tickling at my brain from a while ago. It wasn't a Nith, though. There was a group of these elves in a cave. One of their bodies had a missive on it. I swear the name Xylyra was on there, but it was so long ago.
You brought this up. This was the cave that the other concern was found inside of.
Right.
You had recovered this off of a body of one of the elves there, brought it up a few months ago.
I forget what the... I swear I might still have it, but it's in my
So
belongings.
even then, that is further proof that the elves of Eshmathalas are operating in a clandestine manner here in this province. That alone gives us plenty of proof that at least either House Inalaman or Xylyra or both are operating outside of the Crown's directives. I just cannot see, my lord, the High Elves wanting a war with Vernfolder, regardless of the outcome. They wouldn't risk it.
I don't imagine they would want a war either. Neither of us do. But would not be surprised if underhanded dealings were being performed in the highest parts of their court.
I can answer that.
Can you?
Yes, unless the man was boasting and lying to me just to pull my leg. A few days ago, Lord Inalaman decided to pay me a visit at my residence where I keep my family. He threatened to kill everyone in the home if I didn't come with him to Eshmathalas to serve my tribunal in front of King Iandar, of all people. He then went on, under the impression that he had finally gotten me. I assume he wouldn't have told me this information if he didn't think I was going to be dead in a few days, but Lord Inalaman says that the High Elves are sending in representatives to the Underdark to sow deceit amongst the lower class and the males. They are planning them reunification when they come up to Ashmouth Loss, but all they will be met with is mass death. They are lying to them, bringing them up to the surface, and then killing them.
This emissary certainly has his hands in many pots.
You really think he's working against the king? Or without the king's jurisdiction?
I have not ruled out that he could be working independently, but I still think it is possible that there is some sort of covert action. It depends on how well they've covered their tracks.
What does it
At the
take?
moment,
I was waiting for him to finish his thought.
Yes, please continue, emissary.
I was simply going to say that, in order to be completely certain, it sounds like negotiations with the Institute to recover certain documents that may be on the bodies would be our best chance. But there is more.
I'm not so sure how elven politics of the houses work in general, but a short amount of time after this encounter within Nithma Malorian, a number of unmarked groups of rangers were seen and being hunted within the forests of Gradia. I am unsure if particular houses have sway or are in charge of border rangers, but that, I believe, would be a very key piece of information that would be useful.
This does add up to a picture that does not quite seem tied to the High Court. There are too many disjointed puzzle pieces. Regardless, even if it is not necessarily the King Ayendar, for the sake of the grudge, she's dead, for the sake of the grudge that will be needed to be written, we'll need to know for sure who precisely the grudge is towards. Unless there are any other ways, I will be speaking with the local institute authority. If any of you are willing to go down to assist in the recovery of these documents, you would be rewarded. But we can discuss that at a later date. Is there any other information that you wish to give me?
Based on all the information we've been given and disseminated, I think that the best course of action would be trying to recover proof. And if we fail in that action, then attempting to lure Inalaman back so he may be captured may be best, but that could be extremely volatile and have fallout if we do it inappropriately. So that is a last-ditch attempt.
I agree with the High Lord.
I would
Longbeard.
request that those who went down before would take up arms again to do the same. I will not force this upon you, as I know how horrific it was. But there are not many people I can trust. Not with this level of sensitive issue. Once again, I would remind you all that the dwarf sitting at the end of this table is the mouth of the High King. What we do here determines whether or not that these people believe that they have a war and a grudge on their hands. I need your help to prove that this was a rogue house. We do not need another war. I will also see to it that you are compensated, not just from them, but from the Redod side of things as well.
I'll do anything to take down Anlaman. I'm in.
And I will do what's necessary to broker security. I would assist.
Lord Arnulf,
Yes, sir.
would I be able to employ any of my family to help?
It may be necessary considering their expertise.
I agree.
Especially since I'm sure that there will be others who went down below before that will not wish to again, and again, I will not force thee.
I understand the terrors that lurk beneath the surface. Those who are not accustomed. Now, this would be volunteer. I would not force anyone either.
Runs, I need a wisdom roll. Would the staff know better than anyone, since it was down there during that age and probably carried, would know more about Nif than anyone else?
With a 5+2, you're unsure. Even if that was the case, it's not tangible evidence.
Okay.
Just so I understand everyone's standing. Tang, you said you're willing to go.
Yes.
What of you, Faye?
I am unsure.
Don't you have enough to worry about up here?
It's alright to give it thought.
We are not in a hurry. At least. Well, not a rush is a better
We
way
want
to
to
say.
plan this out appropriately, as the High Lord says.
There will also
Sorry.
need to be time taken to negotiate with the Institute for passage.
Sarah, you said you were willing.
Yes, and you have my family behind me.
What of you, Mr. Morgul? Your stance?
I feel like I'd be more of a burden than anything else.
Well, I leave that decision up to you, but you are known for thinking very quickly on your feet. It's up to you at the end of the day. You have time to think about it.
You also have assets that we will use very well.
Shivana. Complete a maybe.
You have time to think about it. Yes, Morden, what can I do for you? Amorian, sorry.
I have business for yourself and the Lord Emissary to have a look at and to hear, which you will probably want to, but first and foremost, a dwarven barrel that was dredged up from the coastline close to the area I need to look at.
We'll discuss that in a moment.
Aye.
To bring this to a close so the rest of you are able to go about your business, I need your answers in the next few days. If you have already given me your answer, then start preparing. Outside of that, I believe we've disseminated as much as we can. I thank you for your time, inclination, and effort. And with that, you are all free to go.
Mr. Morgul, if you would be willing to wait a moment. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for the audience.
Kyler, you would know you have a late night
testimony.
meeting tonight
It's
with a
matters
certain
important to
woman.
us.
You've
We
been
appreciate
grown
all
accustomed to meeting
things.
late at night. She particularly wants to meet you tonight for something important involving that note you got a few days ago. Shake your head up and down if you hear me. Well, in this intercession, Morian, what have you
Perfect.
stumbled upon?
Well, this barrel was dredged up by the sea folk. You as a smith can probably tell. Here. It did eventually, or used to have, a mechanism for sealing it against the elements. However, they broke it to see what was within, and the records that were within have all disintegrated from age. They had a waterlogged map that was of no real use, unfortunately. However, if you'll note, everything that was in it disintegrated from age, and it came from roughly where I needed to go. Now that becomes the problem. Where I need to go, I've learned there is some issues that you should probably be aware of.
Well, the craftsmanship is undeniable, though I'm curious as to why you were able to dredge up a barrel made by dwarves in the middle of the water.
I didn't. It just happened to be through happenstance that some of the sea folk had. When I brought up my desire to look into the bay in question, they mentioned having fished out a barrel with a map that led to the same location. The problem is that the location has been confirmed to have something they call a kraken at, and a deep trench that it calls its home.
Such things are but a myth.
The stone face that I went to, the geology and the missive you gave me? Yeah. It mentions a tower that was by the sea, and when I went to check out the stone there, it looked like it had been ripped from its place. Meaning any tower and anything that it may have is currently resting at the bottom of the sea. The problem is that this is evidence that what I'm looking for may in fact be there. From my understanding,
Any overhang over the ocean or shoreline is tempting fates to be cracked off and fall into the water with the constant pressure of sedimentation. I don't really take that as proof of a kraken being present.
From what the sailors had told me, they had encountered it, but
The sailors,
again,
Morian, they say such things.
The age of myth is long behind us, Arnulf. Come now. From all the things you've seen and heard, you really are going to just toss aside this?
Absolutely. Because if I operate off of myth, I'm going to start making mistakes.
well, the plan is the sea folk are going to get us a diving bell, and we're going to try and have a little look in that area.
In the abyss?
The reason I'm bringing it up, yes, the area around the abyss.
Mistake.
Unfortunately, I don't have any other method other than to check. The missive leads me in that direction, and that's what the evidence is.
Certainly not the way to go about it. Even if we don't think about fantastical creatures, there are sharks, there are other predators, there are monsters, there's drowners, and if there's were to be believed, again, by the sailors, feral triton. If you go down that deep, you'll be slaughtered.
Slayer. Your requirement is to die an honorable death, not a foolish one. Exhaust your other options first.
Indeed.
Well, I just so happened to come into some more intel, which has informed me that what I'm seeking is about 3 miles from the city.
3 miles? What do you mean?
The information came from me, which I got from the Underdark.
The Underdark?
The dwarven hold he seeks is not but 3 miles from the city.
Why, pray tell, would the Underdark have information on one of our lost holds?
As far as I'm concerned, this is evidence that something was here. And it was made with the purpose to seal the records within, out with the elements.
I hate to tell you, Morian, but if it's 3 miles out to sea, it's gone.
I don't think it's 3 miles out to sea. But what I am trying to tell you is that there's evidence here, and from what I saw on the map, there is undoubtedly dwarven structures in this province that may have been taken to sea, but they have had a presence. You can see it for yourself, Lord Emissary.
I'll continue scouring the libraries for you, but I haven't been able to find anything else other than those 2 missives. And if it's 3 miles from the city, that could even be over the Eshma border.
I intend to continue my trek on foot, but I was going to leave this to the sea folk that know the sea better, because I can't go down there myself. I physically can't. I can't swim that deep. I can't hold my breath that long.
Trust me, I can think of a lot of reasons why you shouldn't.
It's possible that there might be things of import there, so I thought it would be best to bring it to your attention regardless. And if they are correct, you might need to consider it. If they are correct.
Well, I can't refute that what you've brought is of dwarven craftsmanship, but I don't know, Maureen. This is a long shot.
Unfortunately, the evidence so far points only in that direction. It ended at that cliff where I found the remnants of what looked like it had been ripped from it. And I mean, this wasn't fallen, it was ripped.
Then I must also think about the rest of the province. Let's say your Kraken is real. You going down there would disturb something like that and put the rest of the bay at risk.
If from what I believe to be true, if these sailors have already encountered it, it may just be a problem that is coming our way. This might simply be a warning ahead of time, but I don't want to cause any problems, but the only evidence I have thus far rests at the bottom of the sea.
You don't want to go down there, Morian.
No, I don't. But someone has to.
When you say the sea folk, who are these sea folk?
There was the captain, he runs the bay. He also works with Torty and...
The lunatic?
No, the bay master. Torty's uncle?
Ray. Dwarf master.
Ray.
The harbour master, Ray. Right.
There was a Triton whose name I can't get right because I can't fucking remember. And Torty herself. Initially, Torty was just going to ferry us over there and have the Triton look, but Ray himself advised against that. She was the one that I had to talk to for getting even a ferry over to where I wanted to go. But what Ray said is that he can acquire a diving bell for the venture. He knows where to get one, so he can probably help work to one of the other harbours trade for it.
Okay, alright. I will look into this. I will speak to the sea folk myself. But their priority is going to be making sure that there is no Kraken in the area. And if there is, to bring me proof. Whether it's eyewitness testimony or something else. Because if there is something like that, I need to send missives to the Galtino Warwolf.
That's why I wanted to bring it to your attention, because it's not something I can ignore. But other than that, if they find anything of particular note for the dwarves, have them bring it to yourself or to the emissary himself. They can look over the evidence. I'll continue my search on land.
Get with Tang. I want you to get familiar with the operation of a ballista.
Alright. I'll speak with Tang.
I had a thought regarding what Sarah said about the information about the hold coming from the Underdark. The, Dwergar, when they captured me, they were using the old roads, and underneath Eshmith the Loss. It's possible that they have a way up into the hold.
We did. Pardon me, sir. I was in the Underdark just recently, and The drow are still actively fighting against the Duergar, so I can corroborate this.
What I'm most interested in learning is how you would learn of the location of a dwarven hold from the Underdark.
I did not learn of the location, Lord.
The vicinity.
I was pointed
then.
in a direction.
Any information at all about records that we do not have is concerning. Where did you find this information from?
From word of mouth.
Whose mouth?
A drow.
Please speak plainly when I ask. This is a very concerning revelation that I would like to investigate. If there is news of our strongholds, it makes us vulnerable to those that have been shunned and exiled below the surface.
You can't just take my word that it isn't going to be an issue.
That's not enough.
Unfortunately, I've just met you.
Something, Sarah. You have something.
I can't.
Are you allowed to say when there are less people in the room?
I can't because it is unexplainable.
Can you try? I have seen many beasts in my time.
There are beings beyond our comprehension that know the very fabrics of reality before they even happen. I cannot explain it to you because I am just a drow. I'm not even 100 years old. I was given this information in confidence to help my personal endeavors. There was no politics. There's no one seeking this place. The drow want nothing to do with anything that you're worried about. Say again?
Your personal endeavors, what does that involve a dwarven hold?
It's a good question.
That I can explain.
Please do.
Circling back to what I said about something happening to me in my past, therefore taking my ability to harness my birthright. It causes issue from time to time. When I experience moments of severe self-doubt or I feel like I'm about to die, my abilities can break through whatever barrier that is placed and assist or make things worse, depending. I was given information from an individual in town associated with the Institute. I do not know his name. I've just given him a funny fucking nickname. It's Potion Seller. He has told me, well, he's wrote to me that
See this, I need to speak to the Baron.
if I can find an Eclirium ingot and bring it to a master forge, I can transform it into something that would help eliminate the reaction. It wouldn't come out anymore. It would just be inside me.
And you have reason to believe that a Eclirium would be in this hole?
I just wanted to see my
I already
sneaky
have
lady stuck in a
Really?
meeting.
Yes.
Where from?
Nithma Malorian.
Can anyone else corroborate this?
I wasn't down there.
Mr. Mogul?
I mean,
Time can
there's a
show
lot
you.
of stuff down there.
He's the one who holds it right now. It's too heavy for me to carry.
Wait, it was in the box, wasn't it?
No.
No?
Mhm.
We will come back to this. For now, I will trust your words.
Thank
so
you,
you have
Lord.
the aquarium.
Yes.
And what were you hoping to find in there? A forge?
Yes.
It's uninhabited.
Supposedly.
Well,
But I have also been told that there is a threat down there. Some darkness that is festering, hungry. And I, along with Morian, plan to get rid of it.
and
Would this be in your interest?
The recovery of dwarven assets is always in my interest. But I'm assuming that you learned of something inside of this hold from your same mysterious benefactor.
Correct.
How would they know what's down there?
They are not mortals. They can see things that we can't. They can see through people whenever they want. They've
Do you have
been
any
around
other
for longer than
identifying
any of us.
information? Any descriptors?
Old. Old and wise.
Physical. If you're describing them as this, it doesn't sound like they are drow.
They can look just like us if they want to.
If they want to.
What?
You can see she's visibly terrified.
His eyes are locked with yours.
Do you trust this information, Sarah? Fully?
Yes.
Then, High Lord Emissary, I trust Sarah's judgment.
If there was a threat to you or your people, and I knew about it, I would not hold it from you. I will earn your trust.
If the Thane vouches for the truthfulness of your words, I will let this matter slide for now.
Let me prove it to you as well, by getting rid of this issue in the hold. Let me assist Morian.
We will discuss this later. You would be
Thank you,
entering dwarven holds. And I have only just met you. There would need to be assurances. But we will speak later. Mr. Morgul,
Yes.
is the room empty enough for you to discuss your...
I'll dismiss
We should
myself.
probably know this.
Down his father.
Yeah, and you already know all this.
Did you see where he went?
I was gonna talk to Baron, ma'am. You want the missive?
Looks like they're all leaving anyway.
Did you finish it already?
Oh, I thought you wrote it. I can write it.
The cipher is what we need.
I can make something up, sure.
I want to tell him. Now.
I know you've been writing everything down.
I don't know where he is.
It's weighing too
I would
much.
prefer you not.
Let me
write
check.
this
Sure.
Next part down.
Let's go check outside first.
If that is the requirement for you to tell me. Thane.
Lord Emissary, I'll be taking my leave now.
Very well.
Oh,
No, I think it's over.
He's still
We're
talking
just
with...
pouring out.
Still talking with Markle.
Breaking in.
I'm gonna kill
About
you.
what? Did any of you give her permission to Tang and Morian to walk the walls?
Tang, yes, they're okay.
Okay, thank God. I know Tang is an engineer, but why Morian?
Morian is learning how to fire ballista from Tang.
Yes, I understand that there's this strange
I need to know how to do that too.
stigma of letting things happen because we're afraid of consequences. That creature cannot be allowed to exist because what is going to be done by Mori could wake it and put countless ships and sailors in danger.
I thought he was planning on just scoping the place out. What is he planning?
It is entirely possible that, from what he believes in an old map he's interfaced with, that part of the landmass might have collapsed into the sea, and he has set his eyes on the abyss. It's possible that part of a dwarven hold has sunken that deep.
Ah. Okay. If we get proof, I'll let you know right away.
Remember, it needs to be something that I can bring to people who do not believe. Whether it is, I don't know, a piece of it or something. I don't even know what I'm asking you for.
Well, I mean, normally you'd bring a chunk of a monster to people to prove it exists and stuff. Like a tusk. I have a tusk of a cyclops and stuff. That is cool. Or not a cyclops, a troll or whatever. But this thing is big. Its eye is as big as your house. I will try.
All the more reason to convince the nearest armada that we may need their assistance.
Understood. Aye.
Because if Morian goes down there and something like that is resting down there,
it's a large group of ships. Warships.
I don't think I need to explain to you what could happen.
Okay. Sure.
I'm putting this in your hands to take care of.
I shall do my best.
You showed your face for 5 seconds and you have a fucking line forming.
I don't care. I don't have time for them. What do you need?
You want me to send them away?
Sarah needs to tell you something that's a little time sensitive. We want to get on top of it while we can.
Ready to talk now.
Everything is time sensitive today, doesn't it seem?
Write missives!
What do you want?
Write a letter!
Sorry. You can't yell
I
at
came
the
to
Lord
ask if
like
I could
that,
borrow
peasant.
one of your men for something.
For what?
An emissary from Carbazor just came into my vineyard saying that the Baron of Carbazor wants to meet with me.
Interesting. Cook, go with him.
Hi, my lord.
Let's speak.
I'm with you.
Thank you. Come with me.
Excuse me, pardon me.
Heavens fucking preserve me. People have just... Don't say that.
What I said inside about